Hello everybody. Both of you. I just sat here. It's 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm sat here. I've been out for a fabulous day. I've been with my three grandchildren, soon to be four grandchildren. My three gorgeous grandsons, and I'm not kidding. I mean, my grandsons range from like 1.5, 3.5, and 6, and but they're all just completely gorgeous. Especially my the second youngest is like the middle one, if you like. Joshua is blonde looking, but he was seriously premature. He shouldn't really be here, to be honest. Talking very premature, born in 2 weeks, 23 weeks, you know. And, he fought like a turtle when he got there. I'm proud of it. But see him run around now, he's just brilliant. See the smile on his face, and he's just got this look about him, which the women just melt. He's going to be a lady killer. I was telling his mum, my daughter, Amy, he's going to be a real lady killer. She said, well, I got out, she said, and she's got a new baby now, relatively new. Leo, who's my youngest grandson. So there's another one on the way. I don't know what make that's going to be yet. One of the three, anyway. But anyway, so I won't go any more into that. I'll come back and talk about that because I want to talk to you about my grandsons. I'm so proud of them. And they are beautiful. I think all children are beautiful, no matter whose children they are. I think all kids are beautiful. Hopefully, if you've watched some of my rants, you'll have a picture of how I look at children. And I'm not going to go there now, but I'm just absolutely disgusted at how not people in particular, but our society and the people that run our society, who basically people that own everything, they don't seem to give a monkey's about our kids, do they? I'm sure they care about their own, but they don't seem to care about ours. Anyway, let's not go there. I wanted to talk about a recording session. I don't know how this is going to go. We'll soon find out. Blues music, Black American blues, which I've done quite a bit of, purely really because of my contact with a certain record producer who is, I would class him as a friend, and he's certainly someone I highly respect. This guy, he's the business, and he's the de facto record producer, particularly in anything to do with blues. And Mike Vernon, who's produced everybody, Focus Moving Waves, Level 42, David Bowie, I mean, you name it, just have a look. I mean, and luckily enough, he's been in my recording studio literally hundreds of times, and I've been in other studios working with Mike on various projects. Not as many as that, perhaps, but certainly 30, 40 different projects we've worked on. I say we've worked on together, where he's basically engaged me. It was a good source of income and work, really, for me in that sense, I suppose. Anyway, so telephone, did anything? Hello, Bob. Mike Vernon. Bob Ross. How are you doing? I'm really well. How are you, Bob? Are you free on the whatever the dates were? Yeah, I want 5 days. Okay, what are we doing? He said, well, it's a new demo for a Black American artist, one of these three named guys. Did I give you a clue as a name? I can't remember if I did. These guys are called something like John Hideaway Smith or something. Well, this guy wasn't called John or Smith. I won't say any more than that. Anyway, so he's an American guy from Texas. So yeah, okay. So the booking, 5 days, demos. That's all it is. Great. So it's a nice little job for me. So put the phone down. All right, mate. Turn up on the day of the session, first day of the session. Turn them, and they actually had a band, which was just good because I used to prefer them because it's easier for me to work with the band, set a drummer up and stick some microphones around his drum kit. It only takes 5 minutes to do that. The drum sound's done. I was talking earlier about recording studios, and if any of you are familiar with working in recording studios, if you ever find yourself setting up anything, or the engineer setting you up in a recording studio, and it's taking anything longer than like 2 or 3 minutes, even drums, you might need to ask yourself the question, are we in the right place here? Which I've mentioned to you before. Anyway, so band come in. Drummer was a lovely guy, left hooker, left-handed, and it was really, really good. Brilliant piano player as well. And anyway, they came in, boof, and down through these tracks they go. And but we ended up doing some tracks with the band, some tracks where I unfortunately had to do all the drums and bass and stuff on the. I think we ended up doing five of each, basically 5 of the band and 5 where the band sort of went home, and there were still 5 more songs because we needed a dozen songs for the album, and they had like 10, I believe. 5 that they rehearsed with the band, which they recorded, got them done pretty much in a day, and certainly all the track laying was done anyway. And then 5 more songs which took longer because we had to start from scratch and had to do all the drums and bass and the usual thing, you know, build it up from scratch. And there's just me being the band, if you like, and then people, well, there's this gentleman to play guitar all over it, rhythm and lead guitar, but just demos. That's all they were meant to be, demos. And he sung vocals, I recorded the vocals. But even though I was recording demo vocals, I recorded them from a technical viewpoint, as if they were master vocals. You know, I had a really good quality microphone, and I had a really good microphone preamp. I mean, that's all you need. If you, okay, it might cost you a bit of money, but that's all you need. So therefore, my little studio, as cheap as it was, if you like, I had the same vocal sound as you'd get if you went to a big studio in London somewhere, because they would use the same equipment. So anyway, so we've done this thing. They've come in, done the recording, done the 5 songs with the band, as I say, finished them, mixed them off, kind of thing. Only demos, song demos, and the 5 songs that we did by generating it all with keyboard, you know, with the computery type stuff, which is mainly me, and that's not my thing, blues. I can't really do that, but I kind of busk it a bit, you know. Anyway, so we did those, put some guitar on it, put some vocals on those as well, mixed everything down. Then about, I don't know, 3 weeks later, the record company, which was an American blues label basically, agreed to fund this guy's album. So I get the call from Mike Vernon again. Bob, hello Bob, it's Mike. Bob, it's Mike. Oh, hello Mike, how are you? Bob, this 3 named chap, who wasn't John Hideaway Smith. Remember I said it wasn't John or Smith. And he said, oh, we've got his album deal, can we book some time in the studio? I said, Mike, how long have you known me? You've known me for, what, 20 or 25 years. How many times have I passed on a job? Never. But on this one I'm going to, if you don't mind. He was like, oh, okay. I said, there's nothing personal, certainly not with you, Mike. I said, it's just, I've got a thing about this guy. He just bothers me a bit, and I didn't want to do it. There's just certain things which I don't really want to go into, but there was all I can really remember about this is that we were doing a session on one of the days, and I can't remember if it was the band day. No, it wasn't. It was just the day where there's just me, Mike, and this guy who always, whatever those black hats are, you know, the American bluesy sort of Stetson-y hats are they? I don't know, black, you know, black gentleman, black American. I've got no problem with that. One of my favourite musicians is a black American guy who sadly died, Jay Owens. He was just awesome. Anyway, so this guy was hungry. Oh, hey, I'm hungry. Oh, okay. So what are we going to do for Mike, what are we do for lunch then? Because the record company's paying for all this. I said, well, the easiest way. I said, we've got quite a lot of work to do, to be honest, considering that you haven't never booked enough time. Of course not. Save money, you know. Let's do 8 days' work down at Bob's place, because you can do it in 5. That's okay. You kind of shoot yourself in the foot a bit when you can work quite quickly, but there are benefits, I guess, but because you get to do those kind of jobs, you know. And then also the relative price of your studio against a more expensive studio becomes quite difficult to justify. That why should we go and spend all that money? We can go down to Bob's studio and get it done for almost as good a quality for an awful lot less money, you know. So anyway, so that's pretty much. I've got to try and get in the middle of the screen. We're hungry. He's hungry. So I just basically piped up. I thought, you know, because it was going backwards and forwards. So we were there for like 5 minutes talking about this. Should we get this food? Should we get that food? I'm just thinking, oh Christ, come on! I want to get on this bloody. I hate sequencing. I just want to get this sequence done and finished. And you say, right, yeah, fine, that'll do, kind of thing. You give it the tick that you're happy with what we've got so far. Are there enough tambourines in the choruses? You know, because there's a formula to all that stuff, which I'm going to do another video and just run that past everybody. And please take as much note of what I say to you as you feel it's worthy. You know, just do it on merit. Well, bloke's talking out his backside. Fine, no problem at all. But at least I would have expressed it, and as I say, please take as much note of it as you like. So I want these people out, not Mike particularly, but I want this guy out because he's bugging me. He just was me. Yes, he had like every sentence had the word I, me, or my in it. Every sentence, and I don't mind that too much. I think singers and performers need to have a bit of what is the word? I suppose it's an ego, isn't it? And I don't mind that. I think because they need it, don't they, to stand up and do what they do. Of course they do. So I don't mind that. But there are times when you just want to be perhaps a little bit more humble and show a bit more humility. And he didn't seem capable of that, and that kind of bothered me a bit. And I think, anyway, he said, I said, look, what, do you mind if I hijack this a bit? Well, I'll just run down to, because where we were, down the road, there was a McDonald's and a Kentucky Fried Chicken. I said, look, down the road here, we don't have to get in the car and go out somewhere. It's just normally what we would do. Because by the time you get out there, get in the car, drive where you go, eat your stuff, get in the car, drive it. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours gone. Which is a lot of time when we're behind the clock, basically, which we always were, because they didn't book, never booked enough studio time to save money. So I just said, I'll nip up the road. Yeah, is that all right? And Mr. Three-barreled name said, hey, I could do some chicken. I'll have some chicken. So there you go. How about that, then, Mike? You give me some cash at the cash shop. And what we did. Well, that's what I went down to the chicken, picked up a bucket. I said, what do you want? Name of this guy. So what do you want then from this some chicken? So just get me a box of chicken. I mean like a Kentucky Fried Chicken. He meant a bucket. No, you do buckets here, don't you? Buckets of chicken. In little old England. In America, yeah, I'm sure you have in America. Of course you have, yeah. But no, there's a bucket. It's got about enough for a family, you know. So you might find that he had the whole bloody lot. I thought he just sat there and scoffed the whole lot. I couldn't believe it. Just looking at this guy thinking, I don't know. It was just his manner, basically. So, sorry, that's not a great sort of, there's no real tantrum things to go through here. But it's just watching the black American guy who, as I say, I've got no problem with black American guys at all. So I've worked with quite a few of them. Some very, 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 very good people. And some of them are still around now doing their thing and touring around Europe and doing whatever. Jay Owens, sadly, Jay Owens sadly is not, because he's no longer with us. And he was blind. And of all the people I've ever worked with, but certainly in the area of like black American blues musics, he was head and shoulders above anyone. Because he wrote songs with chords in it. It wasn't like a 3-chord trick, you know, a 12-bar, don't know. It wasn't like the 12-bar things that some, but not all of the guys do, but some of them do. I don't know how they get away with it. But Jay Owens didn't do that. He wrote songs, and I really liked what he did, to be honest. And I remember that we were recording in the summertime, and it was about June, and it was sweltering hot in the studio. Same thing, we're doing 5 demos for a potential album, which he did get to do, which is called Moving On, I think it's called. Yeah, the album's called Moving On. It was his second album. I also worked on the first album with him. But Jay Owens in particular, to me that it was just like, the thing about Jay, because he was blind, he would like phone me up, hey BobRoss, he used to say, could you respond to that? So I just came out with Owens. That was it. So that was BobRoss, Owens. That was it. It was like the first sort of first extemporising of the telephone call, if you like. And he said to me then sort of after some time, he would like flip from New York to over in the UK. And when he was over in the UK, he used to get to see him. But he actually spoke to him and said to me, I want to tell you something, Bob. I said, okay, yeah, what's that, Jay? And he was just basically just saying nice things, and it was just really nice to hear somebody I really rated and that I really respected saying nice things, you know. It was nice. And he just said, when I phone you up, he said, because I'm blind, this is Jay Owens talking, because I'm blind, he said, it doesn't matter to me if I'm on the end of a telephone 2,000 miles away or I'm sat in your front room. I can still see your face. I said, I'd never thought of that, Jay, because I hadn't, you know, why would you? But it hadn't crossed my mind. And he just said something very nice about that. He said, whenever I phone up certain people, names he mentioned who I knew, his like business contacts, record companies, etc., that also lived in the UK, he would phone them up. He could literally see their face drop when they found out it was him. It's Jay Owens. Oh no, that kind of thing. But he could see it. Even though he was blind, he could see it down the telephone. And get your head around that one. Well, it hadn't occurred to me, but he said to me, Bob, he said, every time I phone you, he said, you smile. As soon as I said, well, it's just that BobRoss, Owens. It's just we had that kind of thing going, you know. But it was lovely. But anyway, getting back to the 3-barreled name. Sorry to rant about that, but I just declined. It was the only recording session I ever declined. I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to pass on that one. Mike couldn't believe it. Mike Vernon said, what? I said, well, how many times have I ever passed on a job, Mike? He said, well, you haven't. I said, well, exactly. He said, please indulge me on this one. Okay, Bob. Yep, all right. I said, I just don't want to do it, Mike. And anyway, what happened, they basically went to another studio, recorded all these 10 songs. The 5 demos that I did, you know, when he came down to my studio before, when he ate all this chicken, so were just brought to the band to play. Well, they recorded them all, but did very well apparently, because the 5 songs of the demos that we did in the studio. So even though they re-recorded everything again, they still kept and used the 5 demos that we'd done. I think that's the thing, it's just that the vocals, even though this guy was what he is, I mean, he wasn't that bad to be honest, but his vocals came out really well. From his point of view, he really liked how he performed. And like I say, the sonics, the sound of it was the same as you'd get in any studio, which has been the same in my ProTools studio. You're going to get the same sound with me as you'd get if you went and spent £3,500–4,000 a day in London. I can get that for you for like 75 quid, 100 quid, you know. So not a problem. As long as you know which gear to go for. I'm going to close this off now purely from the time perspective, and I have no idea what the audio's been like. It's probably been cracked in as it normally does, and please accept my apologies for that. But there's no setup with this, as you can probably guess and tell, and of course there's no. This is my antidote, if you like, to all those years of being ridiculous with the old recording thing, days and days and days of it. And I don't want to do that with this at all. So provided that it's kind of audible and not too offensive for somebody to listen to, there will be crackly things, but that's just the sort of rubbish of equipment. I've got this gas-powered laptop, it's rubbish. I've got to get an electric one. Thank you for listening to me. And by the way, that gentleman, I'm really glad I passed on this thing, and he didn't sell that many records, to be honest. But apparently the best 5 tracks on the record, according to the reviewers, if you've got reviewed so well, these tracks sounded good, but the rest of them sounded shit. Yeah, you didn't, they're just demos. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and please take awfully good care of yourselves, and be happy, and look after those children. They're our future, our kids. We need to wake up as a species, I think, and realise, we need to do what's best for our kids, not what's best for all the old people who own everything. Anyway, thanks for listening to me. It's now 20 past 9.